Sagittarius, this is going to be your weekly read for March 4th through the 10th, and it's a little late, so we're just going with where we're at right now. I'm doing the reads a little bit differently, so you will have 5 cards for your read, 1 general energy for the week, and then 1 card for love, which I'll make work for singles or for those in a long-term relationship, and then 1 for work, career, and long-term goals. So here we go. Let's see if I can not ramble on endlessly on your read like I did for Scorpio. Sagittarius, your general energy this week, we've got the 6 of Cups. As much as you may want to live in the past and try and figure out the answers to all the unanswered questions, the odd events that you may have been involved in, it could be more pertinent for you to forgive yourself and start building from where you're at right now. Finding those answers are likely not going to do anything to make anything better or really clear up any of the mysteries that may be hiding in the past. As much as you may want to be all work right now too, you're still being... It's like your mind is focused on the past for a reason and it can't let go, but start focusing on your independence and understand what it is that you think about something rather than... I think this is really more about understanding where and what your perspective is now and how past events actually affected you and what the result of that was, rather than how other people wanted it to seem or what other people's intention was, because their intention doesn't matter if it affected you negatively. It doesn't matter what they got out of it. It doesn't matter if they had a good reason, if they were very insistent that it was necessary. It doesn't matter if you got waylaid or sidetracked or disenfranchised by this, because that is the effect it had on you, and that's your perspective. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging your perspective and not caring what somebody else's reasons were for doing this maligned BS. Then you may end up finding out that some good deed or some good intention was actually selfish. And again, I think that's why independence is on this card, because you need to worry about what your perspective of the situation was and take what you can information-wise out of that rather than somebody else's intent. And I'm still rambling, but that's your general energy throughout the week. Somebody coming forth and saying that, well, this was my intent and you should have taken it as anything other than that. But you're sitting there like, well, that's not the effect that it had for me. So your intent is bunk. It's BS. As far as love for you this week goes, Sagittarius, you've got transitions. So I really think that this is if you're single, first off, you may be making some personal transitions and transitioning how it is that you see relationships and what you actually want to get out of them. Because whether or not we want to admit this, relationships are transactional. Even the most loving, caring relationships is because often enough we get something out of caring for someone else, even if it doesn't have to be material. It's like I did something good for somebody else to make them comfortable, and knowing that they're taken care of and that they have what they need makes me feel better. Whether it's about yourself or about them, it's still transactional. And if you start looking at it like that, you may actually understand why it is that some of these relationships didn't work out. And it's because neither of you are actually getting anything out of it. Or only one of you was. This is going to allow you to release some baggage that you have from the past and maybe understand why it is that you got into those ineffectual relationships, and knowing that is going to help you be able to move yourself into a position where you can have a better relationship with yourself and with other people. It does look like there's going to be a lot of conversation this week, so not so much you bonding together with somebody else and starting a relationship, but having conversations that maybe you should have had in the past that you neglected to before things got more serious. If you are in a long-term relationship right now, this is going to be you guys moving together and maybe leaving some fights, some transgressions that you had against one another, and finding out that they were actually being goaded on or triggered by people outside the relationship. Sad to say, because they were bored or because they just thought you two shouldn't be together. This change really seems like it's going to be you guys almost insulating yourself from the outside world a little bit more to see exactly where the other partner is and what kind of effect these other people may have been trying to have on you, both individually and as a relationship. So it really does seem as though you both had different parties, like trying to pull your strings and almost pull you apart. But it does look like it's something that you will be able to move on from, and it's into a point where, or it's in a place where walls can't be built, because you can't build a, quote unquote, you can't build a wall on water, and because water flows to itself, it finds its level, and unless you're floating something on top of it, that's not a wall. But anyway, I'm not gonna go into that anymore because I'm rambling again, and we're already at 7 minutes. I think you get my point, though, Sagittarius. As for your work life this week, you are making some big moves, and you're making them quickly. Whether this is suddenly starting another job and not giving your 2 weeks notice, or you really don't care if you could come back to this place of work or not, because you've got stuff to do and you have the opportunity to move and do something, so that's what you're going to do. Other people may be seeing you as unpredictable, but I don't think this is necessarily you. I think you have a plan and you're acting on it, and you're just tired of waiting other people to be okay with it. As far as career this week, whatever work that you're doing, you're not going, that's why we have the Knight of Swords and the reverse for your work. Because whatever you are trying to do here is not going to work out, and it's pretty obvious, so you are taking what you can and leaving pretty much a dead end. This may put you into a different position where you have to change what your long-term goal is, what you want your career to do for you, and how it is that you're going to make that happen now, because this avenue did not work. Long-term goals. As much as you may be facing financial loss and really isolating yourself, as much as it's triggering your insecurity and not not really putting you in a place where you have all the answers. It's going to cause this turnaround to where you will be able to actually see everything on the table for what it is rather than what you hoped it would be. And that's what's going to trigger a bunch of change for you, Sagittarius, but it's likely not going to be until the end of the month that you see a lot of this change. You're going to end up finding out, though, at some point that a lot of the promises that you may have been made up here with your work life, like this is going to take you somewhere, this is going to be a pretty much like an OJT advancement program or whatever, that a lot of it was just a distraction to keep you on the hook and keep you in the position that you're at. There may have even been promises of bonuses, which is why you have this financial loss, and hopefully it's not something stupid like I heard about earlier where if you're paid out bonuses that and you quit your job, you have to pay them back. Why would you have to pay back a bonus? The bonus is for the prior work that you already did. But whatever. That's pretty ridiculous, especially for a multi-billion-dollar company. So, as insecure as you may feel this week, Sagittarius, know that any of these changes that are being made by you are necessary, and you may actually regret not doing them sooner. It almost feels as though you trusted the wrong people or the wrong person and took things at face value whenever you maybe feel you shouldn't. But it does look like it is a week of transformation and change for you, Sagittarius. I'd almost lean into it as much as you can and maybe do something completely, totally different from what you're used to doing, and maybe that's where this has all been taking you. But you have a great week, and I will see you guys next time. Please keep an eye on the dailies, and yeah, that's all I had. Keep an eye for the dailies that I try to post every day, and it does look like you'll get through this. It's just a question of biting the bullet and kind of flipping everybody off on the way out.